Hello everybody, welcome to day one of the EDHE Entrepreneurship Intervarsity. Today the 28 finalists will be here fighting for a spot to be named the Studentpreneur of the Year. I'm just going to take you through some of the stuff that's happening and the excitement and the vibe. Over here on my right hand side we have the registration table. So this is where people walk in and get their name tags. We want to know who's here and who's who in the zoo, you know, that sort of thing. And also what I'm going to take you through now is you're going to see the production team and exactly what the room looks like before it gets filled to capacity. Come with me. So we're inside here. This is where all the action is going to be taking place. This room is going to take in about 120 people, and this is a hybrid event. So everyone else who's not here is fortunate enough to be able to stream this on our Facebook and on our YouTube page as well. And that is how everything is going to go down in here. Love it.
So welcome to the EDHE Entrepreneurship Intervarsity Finals for 2021. That is more like it. Thank you very much. We're about to introduce our finalists right now.
The first day of the EDHE Intervarsity Entrepreneurship Finals was beyond my expectation. I mean, getting to see some of the young entrepreneurs, student entrepreneurs, and the things that they've done, the businesses that they have, even if some of them are still in idea generation, but just to hear how well the concepts sound, how in tune they are with the businesses was really amazing. I really enjoyed the experience. The judges were thorough with their questions and they were very experienced and versed in their various industries.
Firstly, this is the only event that's like this in just the whole of South Africa. You don't get any other events like this. I feel like, meeting people here, people from high places, you know, I've never met so many people, so many well-established, you know, successful people in just one venue like this, and just being able to share the same space with them and socialize.
The networking opportunity is amazing. You get to meet students from across the country, completely different universities, just doing something completely different to your business, but just having to bounce ideas off each other. So that's amazing.
And in terms of the experience, it's phenomenal in terms of like changing your whole perspective as an entrepreneur. You don't really get this opportunity in terms of getting students from universities to give off what they've been working on.
The most interesting thing and the most significant thing is how many people want to create social change. It's something that I feel very deeply about. And it's amazing.
julep, pop 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 julep, pop 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 julep, pop 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 pop.
Hello everybody, welcome to day one of the EDHE Entrepreneurship Intervarsity. Today, the 28 finalists will be here fighting for a spot to be named the Studentpreneur of the Year. I'm just going to take you through some of the stuff that's happening and the excitement and the vibe. Over here on my right-hand side, we have the registration table. So this is where people walk in and get their name tags. Today, the 28 finalists will be here fighting for a spot to be named the Studentpreneur of the Year. I'm just going to take you through some of the stuff that's happening and the excitement and the vibe. Over here on my right-hand side, we have the registration table. So this is where people walk in and get their name tags. We want to know who's here and who's who in the zoo, you know, that sort of thing. And also what I'm going to take you through now is you're going to see the production team and exactly what the room looks like before it gets filled to capacity. Come with me. So we're inside here. This is where all the action is going to be taking place. This room is going to take in about 120 people, and this is a hybrid event, so everyone else who's not here is fortunate enough to be able to stream this on our Facebook and on our YouTube page as well. And that is how everything is going to go down in here. Love it.
So welcome to the EDHE Entrepreneurship Intervarsity Finals for 2021. That is more like it. Thank you very much. We're about to introduce our finalists right now.
The first day of the EDHE Intervarsity Entrepreneurship Finals was beyond my expectation. I mean, getting to see some of the young entrepreneurs, student entrepreneurs, and the things that they've done, the businesses that they have, even if some of them are still in idea generation, but just to hear how well the concepts sound, how in tune they are with the businesses was really amazing. I really enjoyed the experience. The judges were thorough with their questions and they were very experienced and versed in their various industries.
Firstly, this is the only event that's like this in just the whole of South Africa. You don't get any other events like this. I feel like, I mean, meeting people here, I mean, people from high places, you know, I mean, I've never met so many people, so many well-established, you know, successful people in just one venue like this, and just being able to share the same space with them and socialize.
The networking opportunity is amazing. You get to meet students from across the country, completely different universities, just doing something completely different to your business, but just having to bounce ideas off each other. So that's amazing.
And in terms of the experience, it's phenomenal in terms of like changing your whole perspective as an entrepreneur. You don't really get this opportunity in terms of getting students from universities to give off what they've been working on.
The most interesting thing and the most significant thing is how many people want to create social change. It's something that I feel very deeply about, and it's amazing to see how many other young people feel the same way.
I think just learning that there's so much, just such gift and growth in youth and entrepreneurship in our country, and that gives me so much hope for our country.
Until we get together again, thank you so much, and to those of you who are driving home, drive home safely.
Can start. House at large. My name is Mujaki Mutibi, and to those that have joined us yesterday, already know I'm one of the best MC for the day, and also that I'm looking for a manager to manage this talent that I have, so that we can contribute to the economy. No, thank you, colleagues, for joining us today for the day 2 of the EDHE Intervarsity for the Central Region. And the Central Region consists of Central University of Technology, Salt Lake University, and we also have the University of the to be able to select the winners that will have to represent us at the national. So my name is Mujaki Mutibi again. I'm the Student Governance Manager at the Bloemfontein campus, and I'm also the Institutional Coordinator of EDHE at the University of the Free State. And mine is to welcome you to the session today. And also I see my colleagues have joined online, and we appreciate your commitment to join us despite the challenges that we are having of ESCOM and of load shedding issues. And colleagues are doing their best to be with us, and we really appreciate that. So I think we will go into the program without wasting any more time. So we have our welcome address from the University of the Free State. Yesterday, we received the Executive Director of Student Affairs, Mr. Themba Hlasho, who did a welcome address for from the University of the Free State to welcome colleagues, and also the privilege of hosting colleagues, and also spoke on the impact of what student entrepreneurs can do in the economy and the importance of it. Today, we decided to allow also the president of the University of the Free State Bloemfontein campus to also give us a welcome address. As she will say, this is a campus, so we need to also allow her to welcome students that are also on her campus. So I'm going to welcome on stage Ms. Okuhle April, is our CSRC president of the University of the Free State. So we're just going to quickly welcome her on stage to give us a welcome address. Thank you.
Good morning. It is my campus, Mr. Jakes. I mean, when you're president of a campus, you can say that this is my campus. So, good morning to everyone, and welcome to the University of the Free State. My name is Okuhle April, as Mr. Mujake has said, and I'm the president of the Bloemfontein campus for the year 2022-2023, newly elected. Hey, our future entrepreneurs. But mine is just to keep it very short so that we don't waste time. But all I can say is that congratulations for making it this far. Congratulations for taking on such an idea. Congratulations for actually taking the first step to going and to making out whatever it is that you want to make out in life. You are capable. You are more than capable. Come whatever may, come whoever, come whatever obstacle. This is your business idea, and this is you, and this is what will shape you, and this is what will make you. But even though before the business idea and whatnot, always trust in yourself, be there for yourself, and always just stay committed to your idea. And be the best that you can be the best that you can be. And I always say this to my council, that them and myself, we are all married we are all in a marriage. We are in a 1-year arranged marriage, and that is the duration of our term. We are there for 1 year, and that is for how long we'll stay married together. And with us staying married there, it means that we need to be committed to each other. We need to assist each other and support each other at all times. And in your cases, it's more like this is your baby instead of a marriage. This is your baby, and with this being your baby, you need to nurture your baby, make sure that your baby grows, and be with your baby as far and as hard as you can, and just always be there. So just keeping it short, thank you for coming to the University of the Free State, and I hope that you enjoy this experience, and I hope and pray that all comes well. And I want each and every one of you, and for those who are also not joining us physically, that you all remember that you are all winners despite what may come. So thank you.
Colleagues, that was our SLC president, and she did affirm that it's a campus. I think now we are welcome in the campus, and when leadership welcomes you, you must know you are safe. And what I'm going to do now is to call Mr. Sandile Shabalala on stage to be able to offer us the overview of the EDHE Entrepreneurship Intervarsity. I think colleagues of yesterday did get a brief in terms of what the overview is, but today we also have other colleagues that are joining us, and for them to be able to get a different view and also a taste of what we got in terms of how far has EDHE went in terms of entrepreneurship intervarsities, what should be expected, what work has been done, the impact also itself, how it was done. So I'm going to call on stage Mr. Sandile Shabalala, the Senior Student Engagement Officer at EDHE. Can you please grace us with your presence on the stage and on the mic for the colleagues that are joining us virtual? Thank you, colleagues.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mochaki. Ladies and gentlemen, as Mochaki has mentioned, I'm Sandile Shabalala. I'm the Senior Student Engagement Officer at EDHE. So basically, I just want to welcome everybody who is joining us online today, and everyone who is at the venue. Also to just give a short brief of the EDHE Entrepreneurship Intervarsity, which is the competition that is funded by the UCDP, under the UCDP program of the Department of Higher Education, and the competition is supported by Universities South Africa, and in partnership with Allen Gray Orbis Foundation, SAP Foundation, and Entrepreneurs Organization as our partners. Basically, the purpose is to identify the top student entrepreneurs at the South African public universities, and then invite them to present their businesses, and then also invite investments to support these businesses, and then lastly, encourage universities to support the student businesses. Now, we have 4 categories that are part of the competition. Firstly, we have innovative business ideas. We have existing business general, we have existing business social impact, and we have existing business tech. And each and every of these categories have been allocated 20,000 rands, and then the overall winner will walk away with an additional 100,000 rands at the national finals. And I would just like to acknowledge some few delegates that were with us from yesterday and even today. Yesterday, we had an opening address by Mr. Themba Hlaso, who is the Executive Director at Student Affairs at the University of the Free State. And then we have the SRC President from Bloemfontein campus at UFS, Miss Okuhle April. And then tomorrow we'll be having Miss Silindogutle Daga, who is the SRC Student Development and First Generation Studies, who will be with us in the announcement of the winners. And also to acknowledge some of the coordinators who are part of this, from the universities that are part of the central region. And we have Mr. Mojaki Motibi, who is also our MC. We have Miss Oretabilo Mateki, we have Miss Mamoya Kota, and we have Mr. Pegumusa Zikali. They are from the University of the Free State. We have Miss Gail Mutaudi and Mr. Fatinald Rangongo from SPU. And then we have Miss Anel Steenkamp from NW. We have Dr. Rita from NW as well. And then we have Mr. David Kareli, who is with us here also from CUT. And then we have Miss Mimi from VUT and Miss Matapelo from VUT. Just those are the few coordinators that are part of the central region. Moving on to a brief history of where we are coming from with EDHE Entrepreneurship Intervarsity. The first annual EDHE Entrepreneurship Intervarsity was in 2019, and the student premier of the year was Mr. Mvelo Zayo, who won the 2019 Student Premier of the Year from the University of Cape Town. And then the second annual EDHE Entrepreneurship Intervarsity 2020 was won by Mr. Promise Nyalunga from the University of Venda. And then last year, which was our third annual EDHE Entrepreneurship Intervarsity 2021, and the student premier of the year was Miss Chehofatso Masenya from the University of Cape Town. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not sure if the 2022 student premier of the year will be from the central region, but I know our participants are ready and they will present to our judges today. Welcome to the EDHE Entrepreneurship Intervarsity 2022. I am Sandile Shabalala. Thank you so much. And then just briefly to give our participants who are joining us online and in person, you have 7 minutes. 2 minutes to just test your slides, and then 3 minutes to present your business, and then 2 minutes for the questions and answers. We have our judges joining us online. We have Mr. Ntogozo Sibia, and also we have Mr. Pilani Sangweni. And then lastly, we have Mr. Morgan Naidu joining us in person. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much.
Greetings to the house at large again. The number one, the one and only MC. So I think we're getting to the business of the day, colleagues. Yesterday we did quite well, and also today. because this is the time where you'll find the space is quiet, and this is the time that you find even the colleagues that are joining online, the anticipation. Also, there is a bit of an excitement in terms of them presenting their businesses and ideas. So, without wasting any more time, we are going to start with our first participant. And our first participant is Amelia Leshope from Sol Plaatje University. Can you please grace us with your presence on stage? And colleagues, I said I give away prizes for people that clap. Even online, I'm checking who's clapping.
Hello. I want to show you a small village I grew up in the West Rand called Matolesville. That's the number of its population, and 65% of the population, it's children and students like me. We have homes there called shacks. Some of the homes have no electricity, some are small, but we students still stay there with our parents, so we really find it hard to adjust to study. But in order to study, because we have to, we study in the dark, sometimes on floors, sometimes on beds. So we know that that is less interesting and effective, but still at the end of the year, we show progress no matter the obstacles we faced. We provide excellent results. We also have good resources such as volunteers and physical resources such as empty halls. There are about 5 to 7 of them. They're not used. Some are used to hold political meetings, some churches and some events. Now this is how Artisani comes into the picture. Our vision and mission statement is to strategize these halls into study areas with chairs and tables for students to study. It will be open 24/7 for anyone who wants to come and study. To ensure sustainability, we will hold events, save money, draft proposals for donations, sponsorship, and we aim to go beyond. What is unique about us is our processing requirements and giving options to the disadvantaged. I've made some projections, and my inward plus outward cost me about 38-something thousand, but that is not my actual target amount because my program expenses are still yet unknown. For community benefits, the location of Artisani satisfies the community security need, also benefits the volunteers, and in future, if we get proper funding, we'll offer fixed employment. Also, how do I manage it? We all know that the most common legal structure is the voluntary association. So we registered under the NPO, so we will be governed by the NPO Act. Opportunity is where you are, so I saw an opportunity in a community where I grew up and I took it and I want to do good. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for a brilliant presentation. I think we're going to hand over to our judges for them to pose their questions. So you judges, you have 2 minutes for the question and answer session. And can I note that the CB are online, our judges online, if there is a question on your side?
Yes, thank you so much, Chair. Thank you for a lovely presentation. I like the initiative. Have you thought about how to scale this initiative beyond your community?
I did what?
Have you thought about how to scale this initiative beyond your community? So how do you reach people outside of your community and other townships and other provinces?
Well, firstly, this is based only on the community, as I stated. But if we do expand, actually, we aim to go beyond and I'll also seek assistance in scaling that because I need assistance.
Okay, just on that note, and just following up to Mr. Subaya's question, when you scale, you need to rely on cash flow, right? So my first question is, how are you making money, right? Because you cannot rely on donations and sponsorship. You see how very difficult that is to get from the government. And then the corporate segments may not also, like COVID hit, they don't have budget to give you. So you can't rely on sponsorship and donations only. What are your initiatives on getting cash flow into the business? Because that will assist you at scale. And also, yeah, I think just that one question for now, thanks.
Well, for now, my initiative is to hold events and also maybe we might sell some products or in order to get the money.
Selling?
Maybe for the little, it's not enough money, but maybe we might print copies for students and then they can pay us.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, judges, and thank you very much for the brilliant presentation. And thank you, colleagues. I think we're going to prepare for one of our participants who will be joining us online. And I'm worried about the hand claps. I don't even see hand claps online. And I'm giving away gifts. So, colleagues, I think we just want to quickly double check if Ino is online, and can you hear us, Ino? So, colleagues, I'm also asking for patience from colleagues on the basis that I did indicate, especially our participants that are joining online, having a bit of challenges with load shedding, but we were going to try our level best to allow them an opportunity, because situations of load shedding, they are not in their hands, so that we can move. I just want to double check, Ino. So, colleagues, what I'm going to do while we were trying to sort out the situation of Ino, I'm going to allow Ms. Kidiboni to present so long, while we try to see how best we assist Ino with the challenges of load shedding. So I'm just going to quickly allow Ms. Ino to come on stage, Kidiboni to come on stage from the Central University of Technology to bless us with a brilliant and lovely presentation. So I will tell you when to start, and then I will show you when you have 1 minute left, and I'll also indicate when the judges' time for questions is up. And your 3 minutes starts now. All the best.
Thank you. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kidiboni Swais, and the name of my company is Mnyakeng Recycling and Waste Management. The core function of my business is to collect waste, which will be used to create reusable products. The problem I'm trying to solve with recycling is a high pollution, especially on the environment and on the atmosphere, excessive energy usage, and also high unemployment rate. I want to be part of the young informal reclaimers that are contributing millions into their country's economy and also creating over 50,000 income opportunities. I am currently recycling white paper from my local schools and selling them to my current market, which is EnviroWaste. My 3-year plan is to open depots in my surrounding area and also to expand into glass, aluminum, and bottles. I have secured a startup capital from the NYDA, which will help buy the materials that I'm going to be using, the likes of a scale machine, uniform, and other materials. And this is my pricing for both purchasing and buying, as well as my break-even point. Mind you, these are per kg prices of each material. And here is my 3-year sales forecast, including all the materials that I plan into expanding into for the next 3 years. Here are my graphical presentations for my 4-year financial projections. I have included 2021 because this is the year I started operating. And for marketing, I'm going to be using contemporary media to reach both my current and my potential clients and also expand into new markets. I work alone in my company currently, but with hope of expansion and to employ other people. And here are my contact details where I can be contacted for more information. Thank you very much.
Thank you for a lovely presentation. I see the hands are improving. They are improving. It's the last day for gifts. And so thank you for a lovely presentation. We're going to allow the judges for the 2-minute questions. So I'm going to try to allow Mr. Sibia to ask a question, and then we will allow Mr. Naidu also to ask a question. Over to you, Judge.
Thank you so much, Chair. How much did you manage to raise from NYDA, and how do you plan on using those funds?
The raw amount is 22,000, and that will be used to buy scale machine, uniform, and trash bins that I'm going to be using.
Okay, then just quickly before Mr. Naidu comes in, you said you started in 2021. How many jobs have you managed to create thus far? I know you said you work alone.
Yes.
But how many jobs have you created? How many jobs are you planning to create in the next year?
Currently, it's only one, myself, but I hope to expand more, employ more people, because I already have 2 people in mind that I'm going to be working with currently. I spoke with them already, and they have agreed that they will assist me further on with the recycling company. So I'll be, in a year, I'll say 2 or 3.
And you'll be able to pay them?
Yes, I'll be able to pay them because I have acquired a new market. So with the scale machine that I'm going to be using, I'm going to be creating more income to buy my boiling machine, because they said they wanted materials to be baled so that they can be in tons. They want to buy in tons, not in like small packages. So with that, I'll be able to buy that bale machine. I've also spoke with a person from the EnviroWaste. They said they will be able to help me get the baling machine for about 10,000 or less, because it's a second-hand machine. So yes.
Cool. Just on the funding, you enter this competition, say you win the 100,000, 120,000, and you gave your financial projections. At what point would that 120,000 help you to achieve the results that you are aiming for? And how many more jobs would you be able to create and see the revenue increase at that point?
Okay, I want to venture into manufacturing. So with that 100,000, I'll be able to buy more machines, because I don't want to only recycle. I also want to go into producing these recycled materials, meaning that I'll be able to create more employment, say 10 to 15 people at most. Yes. And also get a bigger space. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
I see the judges are within, during, and amongst, and enjoying the session. Thank you, colleagues. The time is up. And thank you for a lovely presentation, and thank you, judges, for engaging and with the participant. Thank you very much, colleagues.
Thank you.
While we just double check if our colleagues have joined us online, you know, you're still muted.
Good day, good day. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you. We're just gonna try to check how the connectivity on your side. Can you please try to share the presentation?
Indeed. You just let me know if you can see it.
Most definitely.
It should be showing up any moment. Oh, okay. Yeah. You can just let me know when to begin.
Yeah. So we see your presentation, and I think the rules are as follows: 3 minutes presentations, and also 2 minutes for the judges for question and answer. And I will indicate when your time starts, and your time starts and I just want to make sure your time is, yeah, then I'll tell you when to start. And your 3 minutes starts now. All the best.
Good day, one and all. My plan today was to present the tutoring agency that I founded, Tutor X. However, last night I met with the gentleman that introduced me to the magical wonders of Forex trading. Just kidding. So Tutor X is a tutoring agency that aims to bring out the genius within that exists within our learners and our community at large. With South Africa having considerably low literacy and numeracy rates, and with a high unemployment rate, our business opportunity lies at the intersection of these two issues. So far, we've helped over 14 families get in touch with high-quality, competent tutors. The requirement to tutor for us is that you should have had a distinction for the subject you wish to tutor. Alternatively, you should hold a degree in that particular field. Our current market is middle to upper class income households. However, we do have plans to expand to lower income households by providing a one-to-many service approach whereby one tutor aids 2 to 3 learners, in which the costs for the session are aggregated amongst the participants. Our unique selling point is that beyond tutoring, we focus on career path pairing and mentorship, whereby a learner is paired with a tutor within the same field of study that you would want to study in university. For example, as an aspiring medical student, you will be paired with a current medical student that may not only show you the ins and outs on how to do well academically, but themselves made it into medical school. As far as our break-even analysis goes, our cost of sales from 2021 to 2022 have been as follows. 8,400 for cost of sales, primarily of which has been in marketing costs. Our generated revenue for that same period of time has been 91,269.69 rand. We have therefore grossed 82,869.96. Projections for 2023 are as follows. At a rate of 10 new clients per month within 6 months, considering our median service package offering of 1,750, our expected monthly revenue within the 6 months will be 1,050,000 rand. It is estimates such as these pivotal it is, having the right kind of mentor will be. To be honest, a good mentor will be of much more value to me than the 100,000 rand cash price. don't get me wrong, the 100,000 Rand cash. At the present moment, I'm currently in the beta stage of the Tutor X mobile application, which will help make the connectivity between parents, learners, and tutors a lot more seamless. Think of it as a Uber for tutors. And then here are screenshots of the current beta app that we are currently testing, whereby how it would work is on the first screenshot, you select whatever.
I think your time is up. Hence is it the time up? Yeah, I think your time is up, and I'm just going to allow the judges 2 minutes of presentation, 2 minutes of questions and answers from the judges, and hopefully that opportunity will also allow you to elaborate more on what you didn't touch on. Can you hear us? You are muted. So, we're just going to quickly try to unmute you on our side because of when your time is up, our processes to make sure you can't speak. So, but I'll quickly check so that you are muted, so that you're able to engage with the judges. I just want to quickly check. Oh, you need to unmute yourself. Ne? Please try to do that, because I think the right lies with you. That's true. So, I'm going to try something quickly. If you could just stop sharing and try to press the unmute button so that we just give it an option to. Let's try that quickly. Don't panic, your 2 minutes is still there. If you are able to maybe also write in the chat box, that will help us to see how best we can help you. So just go to the share button, stop sharing, and then as soon as you stop sharing, because we can still see your presentation on the side. So if you can stop sharing and then just unmute, you should be fine. You know, we're gonna try something quickly. Can you maybe log out and log in again? And can you, okay. Colleagues, let's just see if we can get, you know, quickly, and yeah. So, colleagues, while we allow you know, to join us for the 2 minutes questions for the judges, I just want us to note that once Eno joins, we'll allow the judges to engage with Eno to ensure that the process is fair. So we're just going to prepare for the next participant that will be presenting physical in the venue, and I will do the introduction of the participant. So, colleagues, the next participant that will be joining us on stage is Ms. Tato Raufelani from the University of the Free State. Can we give her a round of applause? While we quickly do the presentation, Tato, please, within the minute you have of technical, just confirm that this is your presentation.
9 slides. 9 slides. It should line.
You know, I see you have joined, so please stay on the line, and then we will give you the 2 minutes for questions and answers from the judges. I think that will assist to ensure that the process is fair. So you can just mute your mic, and then we will engage, we will inform you when it's time. You know?
Yes, sir. Yes. I think I can hear you better now.
Okay, can I ask you maybe to mute your mic for now, and then we'll come to you for the 2 minutes questions to ensure the process was fair. Is that possible?
Oh, okay. Thank you
Yeah,
so
you
much.
can just mute the mic for now, then I'll touch you after. Thanks, Eno.
Okay, thank you so much.
So Tato, you have 3, let me double check.
Mic check. Okay.
Can you just speak into the mic? Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, I think we're fine. So I will indicate when you have a minute left, and you have 3 minutes for your presentation, and also there will be 2 minutes of questions and answers from the judges, and your 3 minutes will start now.
It's only 35% of learners who wrote their final matric in 2021 who enrolled to write mathematics. Out of these learners, it's only 5% who were able to pass maths with an average of 60% or more. This means that, ladies and gentlemen, only 5 out of every 100 learners were able to register for a Bachelor of Science degree in a university. There are still low quality pass rates in South Africa, especially in schools that have low resources. According to researchers and specialists, there are still a lot of underlying inequalities in schools, including the teacher-to-learner ratio. And also this, in addition to the lost teaching time during the COVID-19 pandemic, has led to learners needing even more academic support even outside the classroom. But in reality, how many of them are actually able to afford or to access additional academic support outside the classroom? In Light, E-Tuta aims to provide a digital solution to students by offering online and face-to-face tutoring. We provide tutoring services that are both affordable and accessible with our carefully selected tutors who provide both group and individual sessions. Our online store, which was started in 2022, provides digital buying and reselling processes for textbooks and stationery items at affordable prices. With the aim of diversifying our offering to increase our revenue model, we started an online store in 2022. We offer easy and quick digital reselling processes for textbooks. We are trustworthy third party at fair and affordable prices. As far as our traction goes, we have been able to reach learners from 9 provinces in South Africa. Our growing number of certified tutees is 50 in 2022. We have had 200 listed textbooks online, of which 50% were sold in the UFS and CUT. We generate an average profit of 5,000 monthly, and we currently employ 13 people. Started in 2020. In 2021, we had reached 5 provinces. We have employed 5 tutors, and we were awarded the E-Squared Foundation by the Allen Gray Obis Foundation. We currently reach 9 provinces, and we have launched our website and online and stationery store. In 2023, we plan to launch also an online app and to expand our store and to offer university tutoring in EMS subjects at UFS and CUT. Our target market for tutoring is it's learners in grades 8 to 12. Statistics show us that out of these 4 million learners in South Africa, 75% have access to cell phone devices. And our target market for the store is university students at UFS and CUT. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tutor X, and my company aims to offer a digital solution to student problems. There's our website, and it's already up. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tato. Sorry, Chair, just to jump in. I'm just looking at the time.
No stress, Judge.
All right. Tato, what is your biggest challenge? You said you started, 2020? Within this time, what has been your biggest challenge, and how have you gone about trying to solve that challenge and ensure that you keep growing every year?
Yes, thank you so much for your question. So our biggest challenge is definitely trying to convince learners, especially in 2020 when we're operating strictly online because of COVID-19, convincing students, parents, and teachers to take an online class. That was very difficult. It was difficult even for students. But the world is currently heading where everything is digitalized, and our numbers are growing. So we are definitely, we have been able to go through with that. Yes.
Okay, just going back to your target market, where are you seeing most of the uptake from?
Yes.
In which market segments?
Okay. Thank you so much for your question. So I think 80%, roughly 80% of our target market is currently in the Free State. And I think one of our biggest competitive advantages is that in the Free State currently, there's not a lot of tutoring companies, especially the ones that offer online tutoring. So I'm not sure if I heard your question right, but...
That's my fault. Let me rephrase the question. Income area, lower income, middle income, and upper.
Our target market in terms of... Okay.
The income brackets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your question. Thank you for rephrasing. So initially when we started, we were focused on schools in low-resourced schools, right, in our townships, and that's where we are focusing. However, in 2022 now, even though that's still where we are focusing a majority of our resources and marketing, we have been able to break through into schools in high income and middle income. So we have now a lot of private schools intake, which they take up face-to-face classes, which have a higher price. So for individual sessions and so on. So for centers, when you join us as a center at a price that is reasonably low and online, our target market for that is, the schools in the townships.
Thank you very much, judges, and thank you very much for a lovely presentation. And judges, thank you for engaging and for the questions. So thank you very much. Can we give a round of applause? So this is the first participant I saw giving herself a round of applause. It's quite interesting. Yes, as I've been observing, it's quite interesting. So colleagues, I think we just quickly going to check up on judges. Can I maybe just allow you to pose the questions for
Yes.
Hi, Ino. Also here. Thank you so much for your presentation. My question was that as you've seen with the previous presentation, there's a lot of competition in the space. There's a lot of tutoring companies, but I wasn't able to see the social impact in your business model. What makes it different? Just another for-profit company.
Yes, so great question. So what sets us apart?
Sorry,
as I mentioned in our presentation. Yes,
I think we are struggling to hear. I think there's a bit of a background noise where you are. Can we maybe try when the judges speak that maybe you mute, and then after the judges speaks, then you can speak, because there's a bit of a background noise on your side.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Mr. Sibi, I don't know if you want to just quickly rephrase your question.
We'll have a mobile application that.
Okay.
I think he got it.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Judge. Over to you for the answer, please.
Yes, so I was saying what sets us apart is twofold. So the one is that we don't primarily focus on tutoring, but we also focus on tutor pairing or career pairing, whereby if you're a learner wanting to go into engineering, for example, we prioritize pairing you with an engineering student so that they may guide you into how to get into that field of study in your university years. And the second thing that sets us apart is that we will be enrolling our mobile application, which will ensure that there's a seamless interaction between clients and tutors, so that you finding a competent tutor is as easy as a click of a button. So the application is in the beta stage of testing, and it will be launching in January 2023.
Okay, so from a revenue perspective, I see that you broke even already, right? And is that your GP margin? What is your final net, if you get to a net profit, factoring your beta margins as well? And then the second question is, I'm also trying to understand the social impact, because a lot of these people in the middle income and high income families, can afford to go to private schools and stuff. I get that you want to get the revenue from that. What is the uptake from those specific income brackets? And then what is your future around the lower income areas? Because that's really where the social impact is.
Yes, no, absolutely. So just to answer your second question first. So as it stands, 75% of our clients do actually come from higher income earners, meaning your private school learners. And then with regards to our lower income households, which would then be our social impact, is that you will be enrolling a 1:many service offering, whereby if you're a tutor, then one tutor can tutor between 2 to 5 learners per session, whereby those costs are aggregated amongst the 5 students. So for example, as it stands, our hourly charge rate is around 175 Rand per hour. So now at, for example, 210 Rand for one session for the tutor, that amount can be shared amongst 5 learners. So that is also a plan that will be rolling out as soon as the 4th term. So from October 12th, that will be rolling out. And then with regards to our break even, so from the revenue that we have generated, or our gross, which was 82,869, of that amount, 75% is tutor pay. So far our net has been about 12,750.
Thank you very much, the judges have indicated they're happy with the questions. So thank you very much for availing yourselves and for your patience and dedication through the midst of the difficulties of technicalities. And thank you very much, and have a lovely one.
Likewise, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Welcome to day 1 of the EDHE Entrepreneurship Intervarsity. Today, the 28 finalists will be here fighting for a spot to be named the Studentpreneur of the Year. I'm just going to take you through some of the stuff that's happening and the excitement and the vibe. Over here on my right-hand side, we have the registration table. So this is where people walk in and get their name tags. We want to know who's here and who's who in the zoo, that sort of thing. And also what I'm going to take you through now is you're going to see the production team and exactly what the room looks like before it gets filled to capacity. Come with me. So we're inside here. This is where all the action is going to be taking place. This room is going to take in about 120 people, and this is a hybrid event, so everyone else who's not here is fortunate enough to be able to stream this on our Facebook and on our YouTube page as well. And that is how everything is going to go down in here. Love it.
So welcome to the EDHE Entrepreneurship Intervarsity Finals for 2021. That is more like it. Thank you very much. We're about to introduce our finalists right now.
Welcome back, colleagues. Welcome back. Welcome back. We're just gonna get ready for the next participant. I think it's Pamandla Mhlopes. Pamandla, can you just confirm if you can hear us?
Good morning, everyone. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Pa. Are you
Thank
able to quickly share your presentation?
Of course, yes. Okay, can you give me a second?
No stress, Pa. So
Can you see
Pamandla
me?
is our last candidate in the existing business social impact. And as soon as Pamandla is done, we will move to the last category, which is existing business general. So Spa, you ready for us?
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, can you just move the slides a bit so that we make sure that everything is working? You can move to the next slide. Just press
Is it moving?
Not yet.
I might have just shared the wrong
Okay,
slide.
please make sure it's the right slide so that we...
Okay. Is it moving now?
Yeah, now it's moving, Spa.
Okay,
so
thank
there,
you.
yeah, so
Just on a-
yeah, it's working. So this is how
Just
it
on a-
goes: 3 minutes presentation, and you have 2 minutes for questions and answers from the judges. I will indicate when your 3 minutes is up. I will also indicate when it's time for the judges. So your 3 minutes. Your 3 minutes starts now. All the best.
Okay. So I'm from Allen Farm, Agricultural Allen Farm Co-op. So the culture of growing our own food has died in the recent years, which exposes thousands of people to food insecurities, hunger, and unemployment. We believe localized agriculture and empowerment will be a significant force for long-term food security and job creation and fight against hunger. What we do is, with a lot of vacant lands in the rural areas, we negotiate the use of land with the owners, we provide necessary resources for effective and efficient production, we employ youth to prepare, plant, maintain, harvest, and sell the produce locally. So if we produce in that community, we sell in that community to overcome overhead costs. The value that we add to the landowners, or what we call our partners, is that we develop their property through the fencing, the water supply that we provide when we're about to produce. They get income generation and employment opportunities for the people in the families of the land that they own who are unemployed. To our customers, we provide cheap and affordable produce, organic, which is organic. It's accessible because we have recurring gardens. So if we harvest in this one, we have the other one that is recently been planted on. And then we have employment opportunities and partnership opportunities also to our customers, because our operations are open to everyone. To our employees, they get income generation, agricultural education, and partnership opportunities as well. Our marketing, the current one, we're currently using WhatsApp, Facebook, and door-to-door sales through wheelbarrows for sales and deliveries. For future, we are currently working with UCT GSP Solution Space to develop a data-free micro app, which is Ayoba and Moya, which is familiar with people in the local or the rural communities where we work in, where they can reach out to us to track our produce and place their orders. Our viability and feasibility and desirability study was done at UCT Graduate School of Business Solution Space in the 2021 to 2022 ETRAC program, where we were top 15 of the startups in Africa, which were deemed ready to scale, the AFC or Allen Farm Co-op 3-year plan is to partner with government schools and supply their feeding scheme, implement no-dig approach with our own developed recycled compost, bring back traditional hydroponic production, bootstrap and hire a bigger space of land, venture into poultry, piggery and grain, scale into 3 more districts in KZN. Our strategy with one of the biggest challenges that we face is the water shortages. So as you can see on your left,
Thank you, Spa. Your time is up. Colleagues, thank you for your wonderful presentation. I'm going to hand over the 2 minutes to 2 minutes to the judges for questions and answers.
Thank you, Spa. Thank you so much, Spa. I like it. This is my space. Just go back to that slide where you talk about the 100,000. How are you going to use this 100,000? Yeah, just talk through this particular slide. Thanks. You muted, Spa.
Mute. So one of the biggest challenges is the water shortages. So we plan to get JoJo tanks, water pumpers when the municipality brings back the water, so that we use the water pumpers to quickly pump them into the JoJo tanks, start slowly to develop our own greenhouse for hydroponic processing, and also buy more tools, the garden tools that we're gonna use as we scale into many communities and other districts in the KZN province. So this is going to allow us to, the more we have more tools and more working capital, the more people we can employ, the more communities we can impact as a co-op.
Mandla, you mentioned you're scaling. You want to scale at the moment. What are your numbers like? I'm just trying to understand your revenue, how you're making the money, what type of figures, and have you broken even? To scale, you need cash flow and profit. So where are you along that line?
So unfortunately, with our numbers, it's not yet looking good, because we actually established in 2019, and 2020 the COVID strike, and then 2021 we were disturbed, or we couldn't because of the floods in KZN. So what we had planted was unfortunately damaged by the heavy rains and the floods. So we haven't really sold much since we have started working. But then we have about 5 gardens that we are already planted. We have already planted, and we are ready to go on into the 2020 agricultural year.
So what is your actual numbers? Even though you're making a loss, it's still fine making a loss. You know, you just need to show that you have a plan in place to make that profit. Because you're asking to scale to 3 different areas now, but you're making a loss. Yeah, it's fine making a loss. There's no problem with that. It's just that you have to show that you do have a plan in place to ensure that you want to scale. Because you can't scale without making a profit, to be honest. Okay, time's up.
Thank you, colleagues. Spa, thank you for a brilliant presentation, and thank you, judges, for the input and also the questions. What we're going to do now, I'm going to manage processes a bit. So we are going to only have a short break for, our break was supposed to be 24 minutes, but we're going to have a quick break for 15 minutes, and we are going to move to the next category of existing businesses. And the lineup is as follows. We'll have Johan van Rooyen from NWU, and then we have Lebohang Mojaki from NWU joining virtual. And then we'll also have participants from CUT, UFS, and UFS, and then we should be done for the day, colleagues. So just take a 15 minutes break, and then we should come back, start with the existing business category, the general businesses, and we'll start with NWU joining us virtually. and then we'll move to CUT, then UFS colleagues. So we still have 5 participants left, and then we should be done for the day, colleagues. Thank you very much, and let's enjoy our short break.
welcome to day one of the EDHE Entrepreneurship Intervarsity. Today, the 28 finalists will be here fighting for a spot to be named the Student Premier of the Year. I'm just going to take you through some of the stuff that's happening and the excitement and the vibe. Over here on my right-hand side, we have the registration table. So this is where people walk in and get their name tags. We want to know who's here and who's doing those, you know, that sort of thing. And also what I'm going to take you through now is you're going to see the production team and exactly what the room looks like before it gets filled to capacity. Come with, so we're inside here. This is where all the action is going to be taking place. This room is going to take in about 120 people, and this is a hybrid event, so everyone else who's not here is fortunate enough to be able to stream this on our Facebook and on our YouTube page as well. And that is how everything is going to go down in here. Love it.
So welcome to the EDHE Entrepreneurship Intervarsity Finals for 2021. That is more like it. Thank you very much. We're about to introduce our finalists, right?
The first day of the EDHE Intervarsity Entrepreneurship Finals was beyond my expectation. I mean, getting to see some of the young entrepreneurs, student entrepreneurs, and the things that they've done, the businesses that they have, even if some of them are still in idea generation, but just to hear how well the concepts sound, how in tune they are with the businesses was really amazing. I really enjoyed the experience. The judges were thorough with their questions and they were very experienced and versed in their various industries.
Firstly, this is the only event that's like this in just the whole of South Africa. You don't get any other events like this. I feel like, I mean, meeting people here, I mean, people from high places, you know, I mean, I've never met so many people, so many well-established, you know, successful people in just one venue like this, and just being able to share the same space with them and socialize.
The networking opportunity is amazing. You get to meet students from across the country, completely different universities, just doing something completely different to your business, but just having to bounce ideas off each other. So that's amazing.
And in terms of the experience, it's phenomenal. In terms of like changing your whole perspective as an entrepreneur, you don't really get this opportunity in terms of getting students from universities to give off what they've been working on.
The most interesting thing and the most significant thing is how many people want to create social change. It's something that I feel very deeply about, and it's amazing to see how many other young people feel the same way.
I think it's learning that there's so much, just such gift and growth in youth and entrepreneurship in our country, and that gives me so much hope for our country.
Until we get together again, thank you so much, and to those of you who are driving home, drive home safely.
Daddy David Wansira. Greetings to the house at large. We are back into the next session. Hope everyone enjoyed the break, and we are ready to continue with our last category for the day. And then I think as soon as we are done, Mr. Sandile proposed a brilliant idea to say, I think participants are welcome to stay after we are done with the session to ask, to get feedback and also ask judges any questions and advice. So we will be making that session possible. So we should be done with the first category in 30 minutes, and then from there on we'll move into the session for the judges. So colleagues, with all that being said, the next presentation will be from our colleagues from NWU, from the Northwest University. And I just want to double check because I know it will be taking place online. I just want to make sure that the colleagues are ready. So the next participant will be Johan van Rooyen. I just want to make sure if you're online.
Yes, I'm online. Thank you.
Or is it you that is already presenting?
Yes, I think so.
Teach us your ways. Teach us your ways. No, this is good. So I think the presentation, the rules are presentation for 3 minutes. And then on top of that, you have 2 minutes for questions and answers from the judges. Are we good? So
yes, sure.
okay. So I will indicate and tell you when to start, and then also I will indicate when your time is up, and then you are able to also get the 2 minutes of questions and answers. So in the case that your time is up, and we're about to ask questions, please make sure you have to be the one that unmutes your mic. Are we good?
Yes, we're good.
Okay, I'll tell you when to start. And your 3 minutes starts now. All the best.
Good morning. My name is Johan van Rooyen, and I'm co-founder of All Green Fresh Farming, a company that produces microgreens, herbs, as well as edible flowers for markets, restaurants, and retailers in the Potchefstroom area, while making use of an indoor vertical growing system. With Africa expected to be the continent most severely impacted by population growth as well as global warming, it creates a certain future for food stability in our country. Our main market is restaurants, retailers in the Potchefstroom area, including Spar, Kempai, John Doyle's, Mug and Bean, just to name a few. The growing trend for healthier and more environmentally friendly produce created a growing demand for our product. So what are microgreens? Well, microgreens are vegetable greens harvested just after the true leaves are formed. This has several benefits, including very short growth periods of between 7 to 14 days. And we can do this the entire year and still produce high-level nutrient-rich plants, and that uses much less water and is much more environmentally friendly. Our largest competition is new entrants to the market, although we have steadily grown and are now the largest in Potchefstroom. For marketing, we use local markets to advertise our product to brand build while still generating an income from it. Accompanied with selected targeting of larger retailers, as grown the success of our company to a point we are going to open our first store next year, June 2023. The vertical farming concept allows us to produce 1/2 ton of microgreens in an area just smaller or bigger than 2 by 6 meters without expanding. We also have a commercial tunnel for our edible flowers and our herbs. And our staff include myself, our director, 5 other employees, 3 for sales and 2 for the day-to-day activities. And then our finances. Our revenue is mainly from microgreen sales to restaurant, with our weekly average being between 2,500 and 4,500 a week. And then we require funding for growing our current production capacity just to keep up with the demand, especially for the retailers that we are unable to accompany at this stage. And yeah, then there's also, that's basically it. Thank you. If there's any questions, please ask.
Thank you very much, Juan. Your time is up. And colleagues, I'm going to allow the judges to ask the questions. Mr. Sibia.
Okay, yes, thank you so much. Thank you for the presentation, Johan. It seems like the business is quite steady. You've got some key clients. Why don't you just reinvest and keep up the demand? Why this particular competition?
Johan, you need to unmute. Please unmute your mic.
Sorry, could you please repeat the question? You broke up a lot now, sorry.
Okay, sorry, I was just asking, it seems like your business is quite steady. You're sustaining it very well. Why don't you, why aren't you not reinvesting your profits in order to scale? Why do you think this competition is important for you to be able to keep up with demand, the winnings that you might get here?
Yeah, like we reinvest almost everything we make in the company. We started out of our student flats last year, and then in January we upgraded to a new property we're renting just for the company. Then yeah, almost all our revenue, like I said, are going back into the company just to keep up with the growing demand. But the demand is growing much faster than we can increase our capacity at this stage, and it's going to cost a little bit more, especially with the prototypes, and because we want to move the herbs we currently have also inside the same way we're currently doing the microgreens.
Johan, good presentation, and well done on the work you guys are doing. What sort of net profits are you looking at in terms of the profit, the net that the business is making? Because you say you are investing back into the business, right? And then why isn't that used, and why are you looking for this specific funding, the 100K or 120K? When you say demand is increasing. If demand increases, you're going to get extra revenue coming into the business. What sort of net profit are you looking at, and how would that contribute to scale? I know you're working in Potchefstroom right now, Potch. And when you're scaling the business in Potch, what is the growth aspect into other areas? How is that looking, and is that on your roadmap?
Just to answer the second question first, we already started planning our shop for next year to expand our retail division. And that's where most of our investments are going to at this stage. So we are reinvesting a lot our money currently, and our net profit is about 60%, gross profit is at 60%, and our net profit is about 40% at this stage.
Thank you, colleagues. So I think the time is up. Thank you, Juan, for a brilliant presentation, and thank you, judges, for engaging with the presentation. So thank you very much, Juan, and have a lovely one. And then you, as I indicated, you colleagues, participants can stay online for the session where the colleagues are availed an opportunity to engage with the judges for any wisdom, inputs, comments, and just a reflective from the judges also. So you are allowed to still stay online if you want to be part of that session. So colleagues, without wasting any more time, I think our the second candidate is ready online from NWU, if I'm correct. I think it's Mojaki, not me, ne? I just want to quickly... Lebohang, I don't know how we're gonna do it. I'm a bit worried about the background noise, and I know it's issues of load shedding and other issues. Are you comfortable with presenting from there? I just want to quickly find out.
Good day, everybody. I am a bit stressed about the background noise myself because the seminar rooms on campus are terrible with connection, and yeah, we've got load shedding. So at this point, I feel like I don't know what to do, but I do hope that you can hear me as I speak. But I really do apologize for the background noise.
Okay, no stress, no need for apologies. We were trying to explore what can we do, because I know there are challenges of load shedding, and I really appreciate I think the judges also and everyone appreciates your agility and trying to ensure that you are here. But I also need you to be calm so that you are able to present the best presentation as possible under the conditions. So we're just trying to be considerate. So I think it will work better if I will allow you to do your presentation, and then when the judges ask questions, I think it will be easier if you mute so that you can hear them, and then you're able to answer back. So we'll do our level best to be as patient as possible. So you have 3 minutes for your presentation, and then 2 minutes for the judges for questions and answers. So I'm going to start your 3 minutes now. Are you fine? Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, so are you able to maybe share the presentation for us?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, let's start with that quickly.
Please indicate for me that you can see my screen.
We'll do so. I can see.
Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. Let me just present and then I'll start soon. Okay. Good day.
I will tell you when to start, ne? So that I can time your 3 minutes and be fair. I think you are also trying to present depending on the noise that side. When it's quiet, you want to move in and do it quickly. I can understand. So I think we can try for your 3 minutes. So your 3 minutes will start. Your 3 minutes will start now. All the best.
Thank you. Thank you. Good day. My name is Lebohang Mushagi. I am the owner and founder of Honor the Gang Proud Always. We are a healthcare brand that believes that healthy hair is not necessarily about texture, length, or volume for the genetic, but it's all about the condition. Our market analysis includes engaging and selling directly to our customers, as well as supplying to hair salons and hair stylists. For products in total, namely the all-purpose treatment butter. Now, this butter cannot be easily duplicated because it's actually an all-rounder. Not only is it a conditioner, but it also can be used as a treatment butter, and it can be used as a substitute for styling gel as it helps to lay down. On, we've got the 2-in-1 hair butter. Again, it can also not be easily duplicated because it's got dual use. It can be used as a daily moisturizer by using it as a butter, but it can also be used as a heat protectant by using it as an oil. Moving on, we've got the growth and strengthening oil. Now this unclogs hair follicles, but it also serves as a scalp primer, meaning it prepares the scalp and hair to cleanse and feed the way it should. We've got the beard oil, which is a treat after shaving. So this is the feedback that stands out for me the most. So this client has been battling with hair loss for such a long time that she even went for laser treatment, but that did not work as well. I sold her the all-purpose treatment butter, and she started seeing results, and she never stopped buying it. And my marketing strategy includes doing live demonstrations at salons, and I do believe there's a broad marketing demand for these products because these are cosmetic products that people can use every day. I drive my sales to pop-up events and empowerment, pop-up stores and empowerment events. I also plan on increasing sales by opening distribution channels. Now, regarding my competition, I chose Naturally Africa because they remind me of sticking to the vision and the mission of my brand, because the ultimate goal is for my products to reach South African shelves. Yes, they've got competitive advantage at this point because they've got distribution that I want and they've got the numbers, but they motivate me in terms of me sticking to my vision. My operations, I produce this at home, I hand deliver them when I can, otherwise I use shipping services. So with my management, I literally made sure that I maintain the same relationship with my suppliers that I started with. One of the most important aspects under my business model would be the key matrix. I always gauge my customer satisfaction by asking them to give me their honest feedback. So one of the most important resources I need to grow my business right now would be cash flow and making sure that my my products are scientifically tested. These are my financial projections. I started about a year ago, and when I started with below 1,000 Rand. And within a year of me running my business, I've made about a quarter of these financial projections. So regarding the technical complexity, these products are sensitive to how they are produced because the results are not based on the ingredients but on the texture of the products themselves. So let's say I pay attention to the methods in which I produce them. So yeah. My personal testimony, I'm slightly maturing, but I had lost my hair literally 2 months before launching my business, and within the 2 months.
Sorry, Lebohang? You're gonna have to unmute yourself. Ne? Your time was up, so please try to unmute yourself. Yeah, we can hear you. So I was saying your time was up. So when your time is up, the system will automatically mute you. But you have unmuted yourself. And mine is to allow the judges to ask the questions. So you remember what I proposed is that you mute, and then so that you can hear the judges, and then we open and you speak. Is that fine?
That's perfect.
Okay, thank you. Over to you, judges.
Yes, thank you so much, Lebohang, and well done for what you've managed to achieve so far. So, if you were to grow, or when you grow and when you scale, what's your manufacturing and your production strategy? I saw there in one of the slides you put incubation in brackets. Just elaborate more on how do you plan to accommodate growth if that happens. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you for your question. So how I plan on growing my production would be applying for incubation because one of the requirements that I need in order for my products to get to the shelves is that they pay attention to where the products are produced. So currently, because I produce them at home, it would help my business if I have an incubation, like for example the Soweto incubation. They also assist in providing businesses with equipment and production plant in order for them to produce in large masses. I hope I answered the question.
Okay, so you mentioned we in one of the slides on the team and the resources you need. I know, are you a co-founder? You're probably the founder, but are you a co-founder who's on that team? And then I didn't really get the revenue numbers on the timeline. What sort of revenue have you achieved? And have you broken even? And is that a profit that you guys are generating right now?
So currently I am alone. I run this business all by myself. And regarding the revenues, I've made just below 10,000 Rand so far. So I do have months where I just break even, and then I do have months where I make profit.
Sorry, what sort of profits are those? What's the percentage? You can just mention your GP margin. And then what do you see yourself in the next 3 years in terms of that growth, of your projections?
Okay, so currently I'd say my projections is that I've made about 50% profit, and I don't know why it keeps on missing, but where I see myself in the next 3 years,
Labs, I think your time is up, and thank you for a brilliant presentation. And I think most importantly is your sense of your resilience of pushing through despite the challenges. And I think you will see that the hands that colleagues are clapping, and we just want to acknowledge that part, to say thank you for the presentation, and thank you for going through all odds to ensure that the load shedding does not put you down. And also all the best, and have a lovely day.
thank you so much. Thank you for being patient, and yeah, I appreciate it.
Thank you. So, colleagues, I think we will move on to the next candidate. I think it's Lerad. No, I just want to double check. It's from the Central University of Technology. Lerato, are you here? Oh, Lerato is not here. Okay, so we have Tebokhodi Tejani. Tebokhodi Tejani is from the Central University of Technology. So I think Tebokhodi, you can go on stage. And Lebogang, can I ask you maybe to stop sharing? I know we share the same name. I'm enjoying seeing my name there also, but yeah. Thank you, Lebs, for sharing. So on stage, we have Tebokhodi Tejani from the Central University of Technology. And I think, Tebokhodi, you've been in the venue to be aware of the rules is that you have 3 minutes for presentation.
Yes.
And then you have 2 minutes for questions and answers. So I think your 3 minutes will start now. All the best.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Tebokhodi Tejani, and I'll be presenting a business by the name The Shoe Whisper. It is a registered business. I started the business with a brother of mine in Pretoria in 2018. He later moved on to other ventures. However, I also moved to Welcome, where I had to start the business from scratch. In a week's time, I was able to find my first few clients. We basically wash your shoes from your materials like suede, leather, nabak, and plastic. Your shoes as your flip-flops, your sneakers, your boots, and so forth. So our growth and expansion plan aims to get containers just like the one that you see on screen that can be branded in such a way that our clients can be able to see the service that we offer, to strategically take these containers and put them in the 3 key areas in Welkom town, in Tabong, and also in Ribekstad. So as you can see, this is the level of service that we offer. As you can see, we also take happy client photos, and we post them on our social media pages so that we can get feedback from our clients. We target people from the ages of 15 and 40 years of age, someone that would like to spend heavily on a shoe, also to make sure that the shoe can be washed clean to extend its longevity. Our marketing strategies are divided into two, which is traditional and social media platforms there. And that is the financials that we have gotten to date as of this year. I honestly thought washing shoes entailed just using soap and water, but as you can see, there are a variety of things that are needed in the process. We have a 3-year projection plan as of next year, as soon as we get the containers, so that we can be able to expand and grow the business. I am the only person in the business currently, but as we expand per container, the aim is to get 2 people that will deal primarily with washing shoes and also dealing with day-to-day clients that drop off their shoes. Thank you so much for your time. May you please take time to visit our social media platforms, and hopefully I can be washing your shoes very soon.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I wanted to whisper in the mic, but yeah. No, thank you for a brilliant presentation. And I'm going to hand over to the judges. And the 2 minutes starts now for the questions.
Revenue numbers? Can you just go back to the slide? Okay. I'll ask the first question. I might have a second question on the numbers. How are you ensuring, have you ever messed up a sneaker? Okay, and how did you deal with that? And from a customer perspective,
yes.
Is it insured, or the whole thing is insured? Because I know sneakers are expensive. I mean, Jordans and all these things are like 4,000 rands, and people do buy these things. It's a good market to get.
Yeah.
Especially the whites. Just how did you deal with that, and what do you have available for that? And then the next judge can ask the question, and I'll come back to the number.
Okay, so, interestingly, I had not had a situation where I messed up someone's shoe, but I do have some money that I saved up for that specifically. Should it happen that through the washing processes, something happens to someone's valuable shoe, I have not yet gone through the means of formally trying to get an insurance through the business itself, but I am aware of such things. So luckily, that has not yet happened. I'm not sure if I answered the question, yes. Yes.
Okay, thank you. I don't know if I can ask. Sorry. How big is this? Sorry. Again. How big is this problem, and how do you convince people that paying money to get their shoe washed is of better value than them washing the shoes themselves?
So basically, what the primary business in the business is to get them washed as soon as possible and get them delivered to the client as soon as possible. So in a case where someone would have, for example, 4 pairs of shoes, maybe they are looking to go away and they need their shoes washed as soon as possible. So we emphasize that the time factor, and we don't use your normal soaps to wash the shoes themselves. There are specific detergents and specific shoe cleaning materials that we use that will get them to be very clean as compared to washing them with normal soap. So there is for example, a white shoe, you would see it being crisp white as compared to just, washing it with normal soap, but also the time factor also.
Leadership, your time is up. Thank you very much for a wonderful presentation. And thank you, judges, for engaging. We're going to move to the next candidate. Can we give the leadership whispers? So no, we're fine, please. I did indicate that I'll try in between to ensure that participants laugh a bit to stay calm, because sometimes these processes are a bit tense, and a bit of laughter and calmness assist in the process. So I think we have 2 candidates left. We have 2 candidates from the University of the Free State. I just want to quickly call Ms. Kole Kamjali to the stage. Ms. Mjali, please double check if it's the correct one.
Yeah.
Is it the correct one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we have 3 minutes. Just check the until if it's working. Yeah. We must make sure technical setup. Press it again. Don't do it once. Play with it. We're fine. We're fine.
Yeah.
So we're going to give you 3 minutes for the presentation, and I will indicate when you have 1 minute left. And also, lastly, you have 2 minutes for the judges. Is that fine?
Yeah.
Okay. I will indicate when your 3 minutes starts. So your 3 minutes starts now.
Opulence Women Workwear. We supply and manufacture PPE for women in construction. I believe that being a woman is not a temporal thing. You matter, you shine always, regardless of the environment that you're working in. So we have noticed some issues in the hard labor department, such as gender inequality, discrimination against workwear sizes, body revealing and uncomfortable sizes, and also height discrimination in the workplace. So I have come up with 2 designs in PPE department to protect women from all expected injuries in the workplace. And I believe that if you look good, you perform better. Opulence Women Workwear create and accommodate different body sizes for a woman. So we have come up with 3 products, such as high waist pants, of which is 600 Rand. It helps a woman not to reveal the backside of a woman while working. And then the jacket, it has a large pocket, as I'm wearing it right now. It has a large pocket, and it is comfortable. It doesn't show the breast size of a woman. And then we have 2-in-1 overall that has a zip in between, just in case you need to go to a bathroom or something like that, or if it is something new in the PPE industry. So in Bloemfontein, we have 12 PPE suppliers companies, 8 manufacturing companies, and then 22 people who are using PPE, or companies that uses PPE. The competition is very high in the PPE department, but then it's very hard getting into it due to capital and protocols that are in. But we're not planning to compete with any companies that are there, but then we are planning to collaborate with them in terms of supplying and manufacturing. We do have those companies as competition, but then we are different from them because we are coming up with new designs, and sorry about that. So, and we are flexible. We embroider for our customers. We are adjustable according to customers' requests. We are planning to collaborate with Mpo, and we are currently collaborating with Postnet and Fabric Fab in Bloemfontein. So our market strategy is to, it's social media, website, and proposing this idea. And okay, our plan, 2022, we are working with Tanzania, and then we are planning to add more women who are doing this sewing machine, and then we are planning to be global. Our profit is 15,170 this year, and then next year we are planning to reach 36,700. We are requesting 348,000. And this is me, the CEO, and Pilani, the embroidery guy, and then Mpo. And if you can imagine, PPE were first created for males, But then when women were allowed in the department, nothing changed. I'm trying to fix that because we matter when we have to have our own uniform to ensure that we are also accepted. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Your time is up. I'm going to open up for questions, and I'm going to start with Masters B online. Over to you, Judge.
Thank you so much. Kollega, how do you plan to grow? Because your market is limited to ladies, right, or females. Doesn't that limit your growth? And then my second question is, you said that you didn't want to compete with your competitors, but wanted to collaborate. Why would they want to collaborate with you specifically?
Okay, the first question, I don't think it limits me to focus on women only because there are so many women who are in hard labor departments that they are not noticed enough. And there are so many, even now in universities, who are doing engineering and all those kind of departments who are not wearing the same, okay, they are wearing the same uniform as male, of which is something that I'm trying to change. There are so many women in the hard labor department, so it doesn't limit me. And the second question was?
Why would they collaborate with you?
Or why they should collaborate with me. In terms of the companies that manufacture PPE, we give them the design, or we negotiate the design so that they use the design of Opulence Women Workwear, because for sure they don't have the same design as ours, and we do have the overall that is different from other PPEs.
Okay, so my first question is, that pants looks very for women, right? I get the idea.
Yeah.
I actually love this idea. You know, you found a market in something different,
yeah.
And you know, but that's still, you said that you don't want to be biased, but I mean, how are you differentiating? I mean, you are clearly saying this is for females, this pants, because that pants look designed for females, right? And I get the other jackets and stuff, what you're doing. And then my second question is, why already Tanzania? You need to have the market in South Africa and maybe blueprint. What was you guys' decisions? Did you see that the manufacturing industry and this is the market you can run in parallel with South Africa? What is the decision for the company?
Okay, when it comes to pants, I have never seen a male wearing a high waist. And the reason for that, women were created with hips and big bums and all of that. The high waist allows you to be flexible, even if you bend, it doesn't show your back, of which it's, yeah. And then on the other question, with Tanzania, they approached us when they saw the first post that I posted on LinkedIn. Then they were like, okay, we love this. How can we work with you? And then I was like, you know what? I can work with you guys, but I can't give you the design straight away because your legal things are not the same as South Africa. But then we are in South Africa, just that right now we are working with them in terms of supplying them with the design.
So is that, are you guys supplying? Are you making revenue from Tanzania?
Yeah, for now, yeah, but it's not that big because the currency is just, for now, like the reason I agreed to work with them is for exposure and making sure that this thing goes Africa.
Yeah. Okay, well, you got two countries to scale.
Yeah.
Scale, and then grow. Okay, so that's just a comment I made to keep in mind. Okay. But well done.
Thank you very much, colleagues. Thank you very much, judges. Thank you very much for that. Before we move to our last candidate, we just gonna give the candidate 2 minutes. The laptop dealt with one of the candidates, so we're just quickly trying to resolve that. So the candidate is gonna join face to face. He managed to make it here, and that will be the last candidate for today. So we're just going to allow for a 5 minutes break while we just transfer the data to a laptop that we can use. And thank you, colleagues. I'll tell you when to start, ne?
Oh, sure.
Okay, so you have 3 minutes of your presentation, and you have 2 minutes for questions and answers. And then I will indicate when you have 1 minute left. And I just need to do introductions for the judges to note the changes. So in front we have Bonga Mangata, who is the business partner of Rorisang Maja, who's reflected on the program. And Rorisang Maja is unfortunately writing a test. So the business partner was also a university student of the Free State, will be here to present on behalf of their business. So Bonga, you have 3 minutes for your presentation, and then you also have 2 minutes for questions and answers from the judges, and your 3 minutes starts now.
Good morning, everyone. Standing in front of you is Bonga Mbangata, one of the founders of Mayposi.com, a student housing and accommodation website. With the dawn of the fourth industrial revolution, technology has progressed and changed our lives and changed our workplaces and our society at large. So we as organizations should embrace those changes and adapt to the current state of our living. We at Mayposi.com have initiated a project that will help to facilitate and accelerate digital transformation amongst tertiary institutions. So we realize that there is a problem with student accommodation in South Africa. According to the IFC market research for 2020, it is estimated that 255 million students are admitted in our tertiary institutions, but there is a shortage of student accommodations. So that shortage creates problem within us as students, because some students end up staying in accommodations that are not up to standard.
Bonga, apologies. So the judges cannot hear you on the other side, ne? So we're just going to stop your time and we'll restart your time for you to start your presentation. We just need to make sure you are fairly judged and everything is done right.
Oh,
is that fine?
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll just give you a go ahead now. Because when you are presenting, we can't see at the back. So you can just go back to the beginning and I'll tell you when you can start.
Okay.
Yeah. Judges online, can you maybe just indicate if you can hear us?
Yes.
Okay, we can also hear you too. I think we're gonna quickly restart and allow the participant to have enough time to ensure fairness in the process of the judging.
Or I can continue.
You can start from the beginning. We're gonna start your time, so it's up to you how you have 3 minutes for your presentation, and your 3 minutes starts now.
According to the IFC market assessment of student housing landscape in South Africa for 2021, it is estimated that there were 2.55 million students enrolled across all tertiary institutions in 2020. Public universities make up the largest portion of that number. As of 2020, there were approximately 223,000 student accommodations that were provided by these universities themselves for 2021. So that clearly shows that there is a gap between housing and the number of students that are admitted to universities. So with that being said, that creates a problem for universities because students end up staying in accommodations that are not up to standard, or some end up not having accommodations and end up squatting in libraries and squatting with other students, causing more and more problems. On-campus accommodation is a very, very, very premium thing for our students because it is very limited. Therefore, many institutions, they opt for off-campus accommodations which are not well regulated or being looked up, like they are not at standard. So the biggest concern here is there is a shortage of number of students, of student accommodations, and then, as a result, students end up living in bad locations. So our solution is a web application whereby students, accommodation providers, financiers like NSFAS and institution can be together and try to solve this student accommodation problem. So our mission is to bridge the gap between all the relevant stakeholders within the tertiary institution sector. Our competitors are Facebook Marketplace, Property24, and Dix Connect. Our website has these features to make things easier for all relevant stakeholders.
Bonga, your time is up. So I'm going to allow the judges to 2 minutes for questions and answers. So I'm going to start with that is via online, and then I'll give an opportunity to Mr. Naidu.
Thank you so much. Please run through the finances slide for us. You didn't have time to finish. Just run through the finances slide, how you're making money, and all the details. Thanks.
We started this app last year, December. So our finances are for the first quarter of the year, whereby most student accommodations are in demand, is we made 10,000 rands from the API of our web application. So what we do is we have this website where we list all these accommodations with all these features. So we also we also list out a part of the website to web agencies like National Real Estate, Let It Accommodation, which have 100 beds in Bloemfontein. So that serves as our main source of revenue. And then listing and booking is free on our website for students and landlords likewise. But for some landlords who want to promote their accommodations, they pay us money for a featured listing, whereby we put them on the homepage of the website so that they can speed up the process of advertising in our website. So we made 5,000 rands from that in accommodations in Bloemfontein only. And then our third source of revenue, since student accommodation is a seasonal thing, we also have a storefront within our website where we sell niche products that can be used on a typical posi, like a posi for students whereby you need a study desk, study lamps, and other things that your accommodation may not provide, such as curtains and tufted rugs. We haven't made revenue from that sector, but we're slowly implementing it so that we can compete, like we can be still have some source of revenue during the year. And it's also easier to upsell because we have a community of students that go to the website to look for accommodations. And then the last source of income is selling premium features like the 360-degree virtual tour for your accommodation. Most, on a typical listing site, you get that you have a gallery, we have a description, we have a place where you can post your video. So we as Maples, we also offer our providers premium listings, premium features like the 363-degree view thing and the geolocation thing so that the students can know the directions of the accommodation.
Okay, so with all these revenue streams, why only 10,000? What is your future projections in terms of your numbers? Are you impacted by numbers and students booking and who's approaching you? And then have you trademarked Posey, because it's an Indian thing, I think?
Yes.
That's just a joke.
Yes, we are under the process of trademarking the My Posey name because we realize that most people can relate to it. Like, it has been easier to advertise the thing. Even the varsities themselves, like, they offered us their mailing lists to send emails to the students and show them that there is a certain site called Mayposi. The reason we have made 15,000 only for this year is we only started like last year, December. So most of the things we're gonna implement them as we go.
Your time is up. So thank you very much for a lovely presentation. And judges, thank you for the submissions. And yeah, thank you also for understanding with the technical glitches. So thank you very much and all the best. So colleagues, I think my phone died at the right time. So colleagues, what we are going to do now, is to start the process, and I think I'll ask Sandile to come facilitate. But so long I'll facilitate before he gets here, where we need to close the categories have been presented and the business of the day is done. So we are going to allow also the judges to deliberate, and the announcements of the winners will be done tomorrow through virtual platforms. And I think we've indicated it in the program, but I'll also speak to Sandile to make sure that it's shared to everyone, and also engage with the coordinators to ensure that it's shared for everyone for us to get the announcement. So what's going to take place now is that we're going to open up something that is not on the program, which is a platform for participants to engage the judges. And also we're going to note the hands online. So I'd appreciate if colleagues can raise their hands if they have any questions, and so that I can note them, and also the colleagues on the ground so that we can note. But I think I will offer Sandile an opportunity to facilitate that process, and we'll co-facilitate and to see how we can do it. So thank you, colleagues. Sandile?
Okay, no, thank you so much, Mujagi. Firstly, to give our participants an opportunity to ask questions, comment and everything, I would like to firstly start maybe from the side of the judges. If I'm just gonna check if Mr. Ntogozo is already also online, to just give a very short general feedback to the participants, including all those that presented online, and then I'll allow Mr. Morgan to do the same, and then we'll open up for questions starting to the participants joining us online, and then we'll move to the participants joining us in person. Mr. Sbia.
Thank you very much, Sandile. I think it's always very inspiring to sit here and listen to the young change makers making their input in terms of the solutions they are bringing to the problems that are being faced by ordinary South Africans, the problems that are being faced by students. And I think that just for the intent, we need to reward you, by saying congratulations for getting this far, and the bravery of actually coming out and saying, you know what, I'm going to start something, and not only start it for myself, but I'm going to share it with the world, because I think that it's not just about the money, the money is part of it, the competition is part of it, but the exposure, I think it's really, really, really important. I think one word that kind of stood out as I was listening to, the student entrepreneurs pitching from yesterday and today is differentiation. How are you different from your competitors, right? What draws people to your particular service, to your particular product, as opposed to going to your competitors? So just to kick things off, I would start off by saying it's important that you are always thinking about what's that unique value that I can present. And sometimes it's not about starting something completely new. Something is about, taking something that already exists and just doing it differently. For example, the last pitch, I'm going to share it because it just stuck to my mind. The fact that you've got that platform that you're looking to launch of actually selling curtains, and study desks, during the off season. It was the first time I actually heard that, from listening to students who are solving the student accommodation problem from the Western Cape, Gauteng, and now the Central region. It's the first time I actually hear, someone saying, "Oh, we're going to sell what they would need at the accommodation itself." So differentiation, I think, is key for me. Thanks.
No, thank you so much. And Togozo, I think that was really amazing, and some of the key things that you mentioned about differentiation and everything, but thank you so much, sir. And then coming back here in person, I'll just give this opportunity to Mr. Naidu, who can also give us his feedback and some of the key things that stood up for him.
I thought it was quite brilliant to come up on stage and prepare. Just some feedback. It always takes me back to my first pitch ever, and I mentioned this in the other one. I was actually booed off stage. So, so imagine, being on stage and literally the crowd. But I think it was the earlier days. I'm not giving away my age, but it was the earlier days. Entrepreneurship was, starting to be a big thing, and pitching and stuff. So maybe the crowd didn't know how to handle that. But, it really, when I always reflect back to that pitch, and it really made me the entrepreneur I am now, because what I learned from that is that I didn't do my homework when I went on stage. I didn't research who are the judges. I didn't research what are their companies, and the money that they are prepared to invest in me. So the cap at the time was 5 million rands, asked for 15, which was way above. So I actually wasn't prepared. And I think the crowd also thought 15 million at that time, as being a South African, was too high. But it's a learning opportunity. I think going back to events like this is where you learn. And the judges sitting here, we have experience. We've been there. We've failed. We've had our successes. We're now running successful businesses, and it doesn't happen in a day. Facebook never happened in a day, right? Facebook was coded. Everyone thinks that Microsoft, everyone likes Microsoft and Apple products and stuff. All those happened in the garage. We don't know what happened in the back, where they had to go and look for funding, and everyone just thinks Facebook just started, they implemented, but it's not the case. It takes years, months and years, and yes, to become billion-dollar companies. So have that patience, your opportunity, your time will come. And just going back into the presentations, I thought everyone really spoke well. To do more of these things to get the fear away. It is intimidating, going on stage, and also when the judges ask the questions, they are very difficult. One thing, if you do not know a question, or always say, I'll use an example for financial, is that, okay, I don't have those numbers here. Can I get back to you? I'll get your contact details. Can we discuss it after? Even if this is a competition, use that same mentality here, right? And then going back, I did speak to some of the entrepreneurs here. We're very blown away on their presentations, but also if I could just include, when you come on stage, speak about the why you're doing this, right? The why is your emotion. You're attaching your brand. So it's the brand in your business and what you're doing, your why, is not your logo. It's not your colors of your logo, or how you put your text. It's how your customers see your brand. It's your customers' perceptions, right? So you need to get an emotional attachment, right? I did like the one presentation. I can't remember the lady's name, but she started off and she used keywords, and that already told me where she's getting her revenue streams from on the title slide. And that set the stage for me to understand what she was talking about. So you understand your why and attach that emotion. The what you do, right? So the what you do is now and how you do it, the details that come in. Then you talk about the financials, because you're here for 120,000 Rand funding, right? What are you using this for? Show your projections. Show that I'm going to scale. And if I can't scale now, and I am making loss, and like I mentioned before, people understand in your first 3 years you're going to make a loss, right? You're going to make a loss, and reflect that in your books. It's okay. People are scared to say, oh, we're making a loss. We can't show investors. You can, right? But show that you're making a plan, to get that, and when you're breaking even, so it gives them the confidence. And then you talk around the team to deliver on this, your how, what, why, how, what, and why, and the financials already backed it. Because and I explained this yesterday as well, when an investor sits in front and I'm giving you my money, right? I want to see, the first thing we look at is the entrepreneur. Do they have the passion? Did the why come across? What are they doing? Can they take this business from start to finish, right? Can they scale this business? The lady is also going into Tanzania. That sparked my interest. Already in Tanzania, people are asking, and she says that they approached me, and this is how I handle it. So we can see that she's taking these opportunities. And then the second part, then the important one is the cash. The most important is they look at you as the entrepreneur, right? And the second most important is the cash that they're giving. What are you going to do with this money? Am I making profit? And then the last thing to end on this question is don't be afraid to say that love money, right? If you love money with the right attitude, right, you will make a profit. You need cash flow in the business to scale. When you scale, you're obviously making cash, right? And then you need cash flow to grow. So the two different things that you need to understand is that it's okay to like money and want money for the business because that's how you grow, right? And it's not only about the social impact. The social impact, yes. If you worry about social impact, we want to be a charitable organization where we only rely on donations, that's not going to take you far, to be honest, because corporates will withdraw when there's a bad year. They're not going to give you donations, and you can't rely on donations. So you have to find a way to sell your products, your services, to meet that. Unless you like Suleiman from Gift of Givers, his brand already, his brand is a donation already. So people like take my money, you know, because of what they're doing in the country, and they prefer to give it to gift of givers rather than the government, because they're already established. But if you're not at that level, you need to worry about being profitable in the business as well. So it's okay to love money and with the right attitude and where you establishing that. But yeah, so far so good. The first 2 days was brilliant, and the ideas very impressive and well done. Yeah.
No, thank you so much, Mr. Naidu. Just some of the things that you mentioned. You mentioned you coming into a presentation and pitching for an amount that was not part of the presentation. And I know we had this discussion yesterday, but I just want for you to just give an advice as to, for competitions that are offering a specific amount of funding, how important it is for participant to come and present. Is it an important aspect for participant to come and present and say, I am looking for 100,000 just because the competition is 100,000 rands, or they should be just mentioning exactly how much they need, including some of the money that is in the competition?
Yeah, very important, very valid question. Because even though I was booed off stage and I asked for 15 million, I didn't do my financials correctly. So that's why it was, at that point, I asked for more. But in your case, right, you coming to 120,000 rand competition that you're expecting to win that, you don't need to state that I only want 120,000 rands, right? You need to show exactly where your business is, right? And you have to be honest with the investors. The one lady came up with 700. She required, or was it? I can't remember. There was a 750,000 rand request, right? So that's being honest, right? And she says a part of what we need from the business is 120,000. That this will help with this much of the business. So just be honest, because at a later stage, if you say to investors, I only need 120,000, right? They're going to expect that you only need 120,000, and this is what they expect in profits later on. But now, what if you needed more than that? What are you going to do with that rest, and how are you going to explain that to the investors? So come in and give an exact screenshot of where your business is, right? What we need in the next 3 years, or what we need in the next 10 years to achieve our targets. This is the funding. Whether it's a million or 2 million rands, you can state that and then say, we are in this competition because, you know, and if we do win the 120,000, it's not gonna, although it might not be, you know, contributing to, it contributes a component of the 1 million funding, and this is exactly what we're gonna use it for. And state the benefits of it. And then how you plan to get the other funding, whether it's through, maybe this 120,000 will increase demand, right? And that 120,000 will increase demand, you would increase the cash flow, and we say, okay, the cash flow in the next 3 years can contribute to this amount of that 1 million total funding we need, and then we're also looking at other investors to fill in the gaps for the other million. So just, you know, that's creating a plan to say, I have a plan, this is what we diversified in. So don't come in and say, I need 120,000 when you need 750,000, right, only, because that sets precedents for the investors to think, oh, they only need 120,000, they're gonna make this profit, and this is what they expect. But now you come back to the investors and say, you know what, we actually didn't need 120,000 only, we needed 500,000 or 750. What do you think the investors are going to tell you? So it's that sort of things that you need to think about when you do come into competitions like these. I hope that makes sense.
No, thank you so much, Morgan. It really makes sense. Just before we go to our participants, going back online to Untogozo, I just want to just ask this one question. As somebody who is in the business mentorship and business incubation space, Now, looking outside of just presenting and in the competition, but on a daily basis, the operations of the business, what are some of the key elements or the key aspects for our participants who are still at the startup level, and also those that are still already running their businesses? What are some of the key aspects for them to look after and to pay attention to ensure that their businesses run smoothly on daily basis?
Thank you, Sandile. I'll mention just one important one. So I think also what I noticed with the participants that they were pitching, when they threw numbers of stats and all of that, and I think I asked one participant yesterday about a particular stat that he kind of presented. It's important that student entrepreneurs, and it's great that you are students, you are in the space of research and all of that, that you make data-driven decisions, right? As a business owner, you're making decisions every day in your operations, in your day-to-day. But it's really important that when you make those decisions, you know how you are coming up with the choices that you make. So it's important to do your market research thoroughly. If you're going to create products, right, for an example, you want to know which product is selling the best. Who is buying my product? Who is buying my service? If you are just starting off and you're thinking of an idea, like with the guys who pitched in the business idea category, you have to have a good sense of, once I start launching this particular business, I know that there is this percentage that is willing to kind of buy my product or my service. So it's important to have those surveys done. It's important to go down, or on the ground and talk to people, engage people, collect that data, right? So that you can be able to make those data-driven decisions. Another thing that's important for entrepreneurs to understand is that your channels of distribution should be dictated to by how the customer wants to relate or engage with your business, right? So you mustn't create a solution and then try force it down the market's throat and try to force it into a particular space. Because in that way, the sales will show you that, customers are rejecting your service or your product. So it's really important to have that research backing and that solid foundation that you can fall back on to say, this is the particular market I'm going for. This particular market is experiencing this problem. I know what the problem is. I know how big the problem is. I know where the problem is, so that you can be able to save time, save resources, and not spend, hundreds and hundreds of rands marketing to the wrong customer. So that you can be very strategic in that sense.
No, thank you so much, Dogozo, for emphasizing the importance of research and knowing your clients. Please, can we just clap hands for our judges? Now, moving on to our participants, I would like to start online to check if there is any of the online attendees or participants that would like to ask questions from the judges. I see that Asanda and Johan are still online. And Lebohang also is with us online. If there's anyone who has a question, please just, you can either raise your hand or open your video so that we will know that you are ready to speak. Okay, I think maybe we'll go back to the in-person audience while our online participants are still gathering their questions. Now, Mr. Mochaki will help us with the mic. Please just indicate with your hand if you want to ask any question, throw any comment or suggestion at the stage.
My question, I think I would like to ask Mr. Naidu, because I think from what I've seen so far, he's the guy to ask with numbers. So for like someone that does not have an existing business, but they have a plan and they want to carry it out through, and they would like funding. So my question is, when they get to a stage where they need to display their projections, so like what do they base the growth on? As in like, I don't know if you understand. Yes, like to say the figure is 23,450 for this period, you know, based on the type of business. Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, very good question, especially for new ideas. And when you're on the line through your IBC, and you're creating your MVPs and things for the business, right? So, yeah, okay, without digressing too much, the second business I found, I did it with zero capital and zero funding. I literally broke even in 8 months. The telecoms business, if you go 360 Network Holdings.co.za, my business partner and I, there's two founders. He's actually one of my best friends from UCT days. Yeah, so we formed the second business, and that broke even in 8 months with zero capital and zero funding, right? And that shows you, if you put your mind to it, if you have a target, you have a plan in place, and you work towards that goal, it can be done, right? I'll share the details if you're interested to hear how we did it at a later stage. Then going back to your question, how do we share the financials? And this is really going back to Ntokozo's comment, Mr. Sabaya's comment, your market research. You need to do your market research, right? And when you start with your business model canvas and things, you're obviously going to have to get to your revenue components and your costing, right? So you need to have a plan with the numbers. So I mentioned the top-down approach and the bottom-up approach, right? So the top-down approach is, if you saw one of the other presentations from the entrepreneur, they had TAM, total addressable market, service addressable market, and obtainable market, right? So when you look at the top-down approach, that gives you a timeline of you can show with your new idea, right? This is the market research you're going to do. You can get numbers, secondary research, or you can do primary research and speak to people in the industry to get those numbers, right? It's very difficult in primary research. You have to do secondary. People don't want to give their numbers, especially private companies, right? Unless you got a friend or something that can organize something. But when you look at the top-down approach, right, you're showing investors that this is my long-term view, right? So you get your total addressable market in the industry you're playing. Say it's 100 billion rands. Agri-tech, I'm just using an example, right? 100 billion rands total addressable market. Then your service addressable market. It gives you your top 5 competitors in that service addressable market. Now, this is exactly where I'm playing, right? And these are my competitors. That's the service, where you're servicing that industry in agri-tech. So that's the next component. So when you have that top 5, you can get, okay, what is the percentage of that top 5? Now, when say those top 5 make 40% of the market, so that's 40 billion rands, right? Now, you sit with your team, your other co-founders, and say, what is a plausible, we did research, what is the most plausible number that we can get market share out of this from playing there? 10%, right? So 4 billion rands. Now you have an idea and a goal to reach. We want to be a 4 billion rand company in 10 years, right? Now you got that long-term view, 10 years. You come back and you look at your bottom-up approach. Now this is the short-term view. So you look at your 1 to 3 years. This is our products. If you look at the business model canvas, our key activities, this is our resources, partners. What is the cost of that, right? Now we have our product and service. What is the cost to deliver that value proposition to our customer target market, right? That's the cost, expenses and everything, right? The cost of sales. Now, what is the margin we want to make? right? So what's the acceptable margin for the industry and product and service that we're doing? What are the competitors doing, right? So we say maybe the acceptable margin is about 30, 40, let's say 30%, right? That's a good margin. Okay, so you add 30% on top of that. Now you take that 30% and say, is that manageable, right? Okay, so to break even, what is the volume sales? What is the service? How many of the services do we need to give? This is broken down as a hybrid pricing model. Is it a service-oriented, subscription-based? Can we do ad hoc pricing? Whatever the case may be, right? So this is now achievable. So you have your cost plus your margin. 3 years, I want to break even. So that's your short-term view. Now you can also up that to another 5 years and say, here's our target with our costing, with our margins, and then you play around with the numbers there to say, how can now we've broken even, this is our profit, where do we want to scale and grow? So 4 to 5 years, scaling, right? And that's where scale, you guys understand what scale is, right? So scale is really getting a whole lot of sales and keeping the cost as it was. So your cost can be the same for many years, right? And your revenue numbers are just escalating. Now growth, sorry about that. So now growth is, you need the same amount of cost to get the same revenue, right? So you want to scale, then grow, right? But growth still has its advantages, right? So now you're saying like, we're scaling in South Africa, but now we need to grow. Let's grow in Tanzania, as the other lady's presence is, right? So growth means I need more, the cost of getting employees and paying them a salary to get this revenue, right? Okay, you might not scale at that level, but you're growing into another country. Once you get that traction on the growth in the other country, right, then you scale, right? So now going back to your question, now you have your top-down view, your bottom-up view. These are the numbers you can, and market-related, whatever competition, and going back to Mr. Sabaya's comment about the research that you've done. And that's what I'll present to the investor if I'm a new business and I haven't started yet in making the money. Does that make sense? Oh, okay. It's a bit detailed.
No, thank you so much, Morgan, and thank you so much for that question. I think it's better if Morgan can just go to the 316 website and upload a video on how to do the financials for your business. Now, going to another participant who would like to ask a question.
Good afternoon, everyone. My question is specifically in regards to the program, and it's from some, I guess, formalities of it. That's my first time being here and supporting, or actually, yes, supporting. So my question was specifically in regards to, firstly, how does one get to apply for the funding, and also secondly, my question was in regards to once you receive the funding, is the formalities that are attached to that, like, is it more like, what is this, a private investment whereby you have to set specific ROIs, or is it more like a a community development investment funding project or program? And then also, is my third question. Okay, I forgot the third question.
Okay, no, thank you so much for that question. It really tells us, it tells me something that maybe the winners would be from this region, since you guys are already asking how are you going to manage the funds. Now, EDHE opens the EDHE Entrepreneurship Intervarsity entries in the beginning of the year. So this year we opened them on the 24th of February. And then we allow all the 26 public universities to apply up until we closed it on 11th of April. So it's a space of about 2 months. In the process, we make sure that we advertise and encourage the universities to share the information on all platforms where the students can access this. And it's good that you came to this session today, because now you will be on the lookout. Please make sure you also just follow the EDHE Facebook page. It's EDHE Student Entrepreneurs, to get updates on when the 2023 entries will be open. But approximately from February we will launch, and we invite everybody during the launch just to share some information. And then after that, we go to a stage where we call internal rounds, whereby as a UFS will invite different campuses at UFS. Then you pitch, all the participants present their businesses, and then only those that are selected to come and represent UFS at regional rounds like this with other universities. And then we'll select just the 4 that will go and represent the central region at the national finals. This is an invitation now for you to join online, to watch us online. The 17th of November, that is where we'll be having the national finals. And then the following day, on the 18th of August, we'll be announcing the winners, 20,000 rands each category, and then 100,000 rands to the overall winner. And then going back to the second question, we have a mentorship program that we run that is also sponsored by SAP Foundation, which is our main aim is to assist studentpreneurs to manage those funds and also to grow their businesses. So that is an approach that we are using to help you make a decision. We are not enforcing you the decision making, but we help you to make the right decisions through the mentorship program that we run. Now you can. Yes, you can ask the last question.
Okay. In regards to the mentorship you mentioned, is it only available to the winner or anyone who participated within the EDHE will be able to join the membership?
Yes. It is really important that each and everyone can receive that mentorship, but because of the funding available, we are only able to cater for the winners only. And then we'll encourage the universities to start such engagements as well, like this, to encourage mentorship, and also for the participants to look out on or other online mentorship program. But specifically at EDHE, because of the available funds, we only cater for the winners. Going back to our online participant, if there's anyone with the question or the comment, please just raise your hand. We will note you. Yes. And by the way, we are really pleased to have one of the finalists from last year to join us again this year. Thank you so much, colleague. You may speak.
Okay, my question will go to the judges. When you select, just like today, or this round, when you select a winner, do you select in terms of the revenue that they make, or do you select on the business itself? Like in terms of it being a social business or it being a private business? And to comment or say just on the EDHE members, I don't think that we can all win, right? Only one person can win. But is it possible for you guys to at least have more investors to listen to all the pitches, maybe at least 5 or 6 investors to listen to the pitches, and then maybe if the investor like that idea or that business, they can personally invest in that business, and then the program will carry on, but for the interest of that particular investor? Because I feel like if ever we're choosing one person or 4 people, we are limiting other businesses.
Okay, no, thank you so much. I just want to check before I give to Morgan, if Dogozo had the question. I noticed that maybe the sound was a little bit low. If our participant was audible enough online.
Yeah, slightly, but I didn't get everything.
Okay, so she was asking what sort of main things in the criteria that the judges are looking for when the participants are pitching. And then the other question was a suggestion to EDHE, to our online colleagues at EDHE. She was suggesting that maybe at the national finals, we invite investors to watch the presenters pitching their businesses. In case those that do not make it, maybe there would be somebody who will spot them and start an engagement with them. This is now to the EDHE. Now, maybe just to come into the first question, there is a criteria that each and every category is allocated that our judges just go through and look at when they are listening to the business. But maybe I'll allow the judges to mention one or two things that are most important to look on maybe on each category. That was the question.
Okay, so if I got the first question right, do we judge on it being based as a private company and a social company? So the difference there, then, are you specifically saying that social is either an NPO or NPC? What sort of business are you talking about there on a social aspect? An NGO, NPO, sort of. Okay, so look, no, we don't. We do have criteria that we mark you on each different category, but we don't base it on whether you're a private company or social. But what does come across, and if we look at the innovation, product, services, and the business description, right? Yeah, so I think the business description would, if you explain the business correctly, what I did look for personally in my, okay, so I can't talk for Mr. Sibaya. What I look for, if it's a private company, how you're making money, right? The cash flow, profitable. And then even though you're a social a company, you can be a private company with social ambitions and vision and mission, right? So I did specifically look for the companies that not only relied on donations and sponsorship, because that's going to be very detrimental. I'm very pro in between, you know. So if you're a private company and you justify that you're a private company and you show me that you are profitable and sustainable and scalable, right, you do well. And if you say you're a social company, because you know the difference, right? If you fully NPO, you're charitable, like Gift of Givers, they rely totally on donations, right? So that's a charity company, charity NPO or whatever, NGO. Halfway is in between. Now, you are based on donations that you accept, plus you also sell products, that you have your own sales team and you have a service and product that you sell and you can make a profit. So you're in between. So if you told me you're a social company, then I would have put you in between. And then if you told me you're a private company, I would have put you on the far end as a for-profit. If that answered your question. Yeah.
Okay, I think, I'm not sure how are we doing in terms of time, Mr. Mujaki? No, have we passed 12 o'clock?
I think we've passed 12 o'clock.
Oh,
and you don't want to keep people between lunch and...
So, To our online attendees, this is not to show off, but our in-person attendees are going to that important part of the day. They are really excited. So maybe we'll just wrap this session. Not sure if there's any. No. Thank you so much to the judges. Thank you to the participants. And thank you to our online attendees. Thank you for a lovely session. Thank you for joining us within the EDHE Entrepreneurship Intervarsity 2022 Central Region. Sandile at EDHE, I'm giving back to our MC, and then who will call upon the person who will do our closing remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much.
Greetings again to the house at large. As the #1 MC for the year and for the century equally, mine with the power invested in me is to call Dr. David to do our closing remarks for today, and I'll allow my fellow coordinator to introduce themselves and also to give us our closing remarks. And then we will move to the end of the day. I will inform colleagues in terms of what happens after the closing remarks. Leadership.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's afternoon, good afternoon. My name is David Karedi. I'm the Business Development Officer at Central University of Technology, as well as the EDHE Coordinator for the for Central University of Technology. This was a very informative session. I think everyone will agree with me that it was a very informative session. And I believe that all our student entrepreneurs have actually gained more information today that is prudent and actually fruitful for their businesses. So before I say anything further, I would like us to give a round of applause for all the studentpreneurs who presented both virtually and physically yesterday as well as today. Someone once said, if your why is big enough, then your how will take care of itself. And Mr. Naidu also said something like that earlier on to say, if your why is indeed big enough, then everything that you need will actually fall into places. So yesterday and today, the studentpreneurs have shown that their whys is big enough. That is why they actually found their way here, both physically as well as online, to actually make sure that they present against all odds, whether it's load shedding, transport problems. They made sure that they are here to present, and that showed that their why is big enough. So we applaud you for that. This journey was never easy. I think students can attest with me that for them it was never easy. They had to juggle between studying as well as preparing for these sessions. And a lot of them, I tend to believe that wanted to give up, but that fire in them was the one that made sure that at the end of the day, they remain. And at the end of the day, here they are amongst us, and they still keep on going. So I would also like to applaud you on that. The Executive Director of Student Affairs, Mr. Themba Hlaso, yesterday mentioned that there's been a slight decrease in the unemployment rate in South Africa. But however, the economic trajectory was still on the downward slope. And we believe that only through entrepreneurship, the economy of this country can be restored. And as the universities and coordinators, we believe that it is through student entrepreneurship that the status of this of our country's economy can really be restored, because you are the game changers. You are the disruptors of the status quo, and you are the future employers of the masses of the unemployed youth out there. So we believe that studentpreneurs are the future solution of our country's economy. We can't talk about, student entrepreneurship without mentioning the successes of businesses, global businesses that emanated from student entrepreneurship. I mean, Larry Page as well as Sergey Brin were PhD students when they founded the biggest search engine today, which is Google. They were still students at Stanford. Need I talk about the biggest social media platform, Facebook? Mr. Naidu spoke about it earlier on. Mark Zuckerberg was still a student when he founded Facebook. We can talk about WordPress, Snapchat. Everyone is using Snapchat nowadays. That is a company that was founded by students. FedEx, if you want to post anything to anyone, you make use of FedEx. That company was founded by students, to name a few. So it shows that students actually have the will and power to make sure that at the end of the day, they drive this thing that is called entrepreneurship and success and succeed from it. Locally, our local developers of Cooler app met as students trying to solve the small-scale farming. And today, Cooler app is one of the biggest apps that we have locally. You talk about the Please Call Me guy, Nkosinathi Makati. Even though he was not a student then, but as he joined Vodacom, he was still fresh from his academic endeavors. And he solved that particular problem that he had of the shortage of airtime and wanting someone to call them back. It simply shows that, student entrepreneurs are problem-based thinkers, and they are living these challenges that they are trying to solve. And at the end of the day, the success of the business that is emanating from it is simply because they are trying to solve that particular problem they are having. We have had interesting presentations today, ranging from recycling, accommodation, farming, and all those. It simply means that they are living these challenges and they are trying to solve the very same challenges that they are living. That is why their will is very strong to say, I am going to solve this particular problem that I have experienced and make sure that at the end of the day, I come out a very successful entrepreneur. So big ups to all of you for that. Lastly, in closing, we'd like to thank the EDHE team, Mr. Sandile Shabalala and your team. This wouldn't have been possible without you. I know that the entire EDHE team is sometimes behind the scenes, but we know that you are pulling your weight, doing all your best to make sure that this is a success. Our judges, Mr. Naidu and Mr. Zbia, thank you very, very much for judging today and making very solid inputs. You made me want to take the time machine and go back to the years while I was still a student so that I can get this little chance to pitch. But unfortunately, age is no longer on my side as far as student entrepreneurship is concerned. But your inputs were very solid. Thank you very, very much. All the coordinators from all the different universities. Ms. Gail Motlaudi spoke about the hard work that we pull in, trying to make sure that this is a success. I sometimes have sleepless nights trying to make sure that, at the end of the day, the students are here, they are able to pitch, they understand their businesses and all those things. And at the end of the day, making sure that they don't neglect their studies. So thank you very much, coordinators, for making sure that happens. University of the Free State for hosting us. Mr. Mujagi Mutibi, thank you very much. The best MC or the best program coordinator, as you claimed. I think we should give you a round of applause. You did a very good work on that. The delegates from the university, Mr. Temba Saso, as well as Mayor Ukuhle April, for giving us, rendering us the opening remarks yesterday and today. Thank you very much for that. Last but not least, everyone who joined us today, whether presenting or not, you have made sure that this is a very successful event. I think studentpreneurs know a song that says, I'm your friend. So when you win that 20,000 or 120,000, please remember that I'm your friend. So by so saying, thank you so much. I think we will see each other at the nationals, should you be successful and make it to the nationals. Thank you very much, Chair.
It's just that we paid for the mic. I was going to drop the mic after such a brilliant closing remarks from the fellow coordinators that I work with, from Ms. Gale yesterday, today, to Dr. David. I think colleagues have captured everything because I was waiting for my hand claps. If I was not acknowledged, there was not going to be lunch. But now, by the power invested in me, I would like to close the session of day 2, and also, as I indicated, invite colleagues for day 3 that will be taking place, where it will be online and we'll be announcing the winners. So I'm going to quickly ask you guys to join tomorrow, and the coordinators will ensure that the link is received and that we're able to join. And then lastly, I think the colleagues that have made it more possible are here. And I would like to thank also the technical team for always being here and working throughout with us. And I really appreciate it, because this is a skill that we don't know and we learn. And thank you for your patience also with us in this process. And also, thanks to the team from the UFS team that has helped us to make this possible. Big ups to you guys. We'll talk about bonuses. So by the power invested in me, colleagues, I'm going to invite colleagues for, there's lunch outside, and I should be able to give a direction in terms of where do we go after that. But thank you very much, and safe travels to those that have to travel, and all the best also to the judges, to the big decisions that they have to make. And I will ensure that I'm the security. I'll stand online, that is here to ensure no brown envelopes are delivered. So thank you very much, colleagues, and have a lovely day, colleagues. Thank you.